Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elevate Your Business. I'm your host, Ed Jarecki, and today we're in for a treat. With us today is Jessi Roesch, a remarkable operations and product leader with over 12 years of experience in scaling and transforming organizations across industries. Jessi's impressive career includes executive and senior roles at LeasePoint, Spruce, Degreed, and GE, where she's managed large international teams and launched innovative product lines. But what's truly exciting is her latest venture, Downland, a groundbreaking marketplace that's revolutionizing the agricultural sector by connecting aspiring climate-smart farmers and ranchers with land, training, and capital. With a unique blend of corporate expertise and passion for sustainability, Jessi is at the forefront of accelerating the transition to regenerative agriculture. Please join me in welcoming Jessi Roesch to our show. Jessi, it's wonderful to see you again. How are you doing?
Thank you, Ed. I'm excited to talk with you today. It's a beautiful sunny day in Austin, Texas, and it's early in the year to be as warm as it is, but I'm thinking today about my farm friends locally who are hopefully past freeze season and get to start growing some cool stuff.
I love what you're doing. To start with, would you mind sharing a little bit more about what you do in yourself?
Yeah, I'll try and give you the medium length version, Ed. Downland has really become a culmination of bringing my personal passions and my corporate experience together. I have built my career in financial services, marketplaces, enterprises, startups, a little bit of time in energy and large industry technology. But overall, in bringing those things together in Downland, where my passions for health, wellness, food, and all the ways those things intersect with living a thriving life are coming together in this work. Fundamentally, Downland is a fintech services marketplace that helps landowners who are trying to figure out what to do with their land pass it on thoughtfully to the next generation. And for those without an heir to take on the farm, we can help match them with an aspiring farmer who's looking for land to get started on their operation.
Outstanding. Absolutely love that. And there's such a big change occurring within the agriculture industry, a lot driven by technology. And we'll get a little bit more into that later in the show. But like every industry, technology is driving a whole lot. To start with, how do you define success today?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ed. I've been reflecting on what success means really intensely since September of 2024. I was in a car accident and it wasn't terrible, but I definitely had some injuries. I had a few weeks of memory loss and was having some early signs of PTSD, nightmares, and anxiety related to driving or being near traffic or being in my car. And seeing those symptoms come up meant I had to do something about it. I knew I didn't want to be shackled. I knew I wanted to be able to drive my car. We love camping. We love taking road trips. We love going on adventures and driving around in my car with the windows down and indie music blaring like I'm in an independent film is like a dream Saturday afternoon for me. And so it was important that I could get over those fears and get back to work on doing all the things I love. Going through the PTSD therapy cycle was really transformative in understanding that pain is inevitable. Life likes to kick you, whether you're ready for it or not, whether you feel like you deserve it or not, whether you've done everything right or done something wrong. Like hard stuff just happens. It's a fact of life. But suffering is not inevitable. And suffering, meaning the anguish of wallowing in what has happened. And certainly there's a time and place for grief and mourning, but that season has given me a lot of tools to appreciate, observe the things I'm seeing, and move past them. And I'm finding more and more that success is me being able to bring my whole self to the work I'm doing to make big, bold moves and put myself out there in an authentic way, in a way that cares a lot less about what other people might think. And I'm finding very quickly that that energy is attracting the kind of people that I want to be in my corner.
Outstanding. Absolutely love it. And you mentioned the fact that you've kind of went through this epiphany following your accident. What was your definition of success prior to that?
I think my definition of success before the accident had a lot to do with what other people told me success was.
That's a big shift.
Yeah. And I think growing up, you get a lot of inputs of expectations that other people have and things you should do and kind of the right way to do things and follow that playbook to a T. Top 10% in my high school graduating class, went to a good university, graduated cum laude, got a job at a Fortune 500 company, did leadership roles, took on programs, volunteered, was involved in my community, and bought the house with the bedrooms and the pool in the suburbs. And all those things seemed like the right thing to do and weren't satisfying.
Right.
Now, there are certainly people who that's their path. They love living in the suburbs. They love being close to their family. They love the hustle of corporate culture. They want to climb the ladder. And I don't fault anyone for those things, but getting exposed to different ways of living, different opportunities helped me learn that the things I was doing weren't for me and maybe my path was somewhere else.
Absolutely love it. And I can very much personally appreciate where you're coming from when it comes to that type of massive change in thinking, but that's so freeing, isn't it?
It is, and it's
Um,
risky though, and
yeah,
it's sometimes hard to
yeah,
explain to people who might expect something from you or might expect something about your lifestyle based on maybe what they've done or what they see as normal. And to live in a small suburban town in Ohio and then move across the country to go work at a startup sounds really risky and scary, and it is. And the people who are rooting for you and are going to be there along the way are going to figure out how to get it.
absolutely. And so this journey is never easy. And you've already kind of alluded to a few points in that. What's one or two of those key challenges and the lessons learned to pass along to our audience?
For me, I had the opportunity to start my career managing people very early. Fortunately, with the support of some good managers and mentors, was able to navigate that challenge. But along the way, I was managing people a lot older than me who rightly said I had no idea what I was doing, rightly said I probably didn't deserve the position I was in. And yet I was there and I wanted to do my best. I wanted to learn with the opportunities I had. And we all sort of like land in the situations we're in, come what may. And so leading into this curious mindset has always been a way that when I'm in rooms where maybe I'm the only woman in the room, maybe I'm the youngest person in the room, maybe I'm the most experienced in the room, maybe I'm the least experienced, but showing up as my authentic self in all of those places has come from bringing a curious mindset and not just wanting to show up and be like, look at me, look at how cool I am, look at my experiences, but what do you have to teach me? What experiences do you have that I can learn from? And that might be business lessons, that might be, we both grew up around the same weird small town and love the same weird little ice cream shop and everything in between. I think the beauty of human connection is being curious about where people are from, what they care about, and why. And I love asking those questions. It helps me feel more at home, regardless of where I'm showing up.
I absolutely love it. And from an innovation perspective, we started to have that conversation. But what you're doing really is there's a core of innovation to it. Can you describe
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of how you're leveraging that innovation to drive your mission, your vision for your business?
Yes. When I was very early in starting Downland, I talked to about 100 farmers and ranchers within a 2 week period and got to practice that curious mindset. What are your challenges? What are challenges for people who are experienced farmers, people who want to become farmers? And I'll probably use farmers across this conversation interchangeably with farmers, ranchers, row croppers, agroforestry experts, and everything in between. So, apologies in advance to anyone who appreciates that I'm leaving out a lot of nuance when I say farmer. But the the challenge of land access was in the top one or two challenges that farmers have when they're switching to regenerative practices or getting started with their operation. And Downland is leaning into this macroeconomic trend of generational wealth transfer that's going to be happening. 70% of farms in the United States are going to change hands in the next 20 years. And that puts our food supply in a really interesting and, dare I say, precarious position. The US was a net importer of foods up until 2023. Now, most of the food that we eat in this country is imported from other places. And
Wow.
so we're starting to see already that there's a loss of our domestic food supply, which means food is traveling farther. It's making a lot more pollution as it travels those extra miles. It's losing nutrient density as it travels those miles. So it's really a lose-lose in terms of having healthy food.
And really no reason for it from a United States perspective. We've got more land and capability to grow crops than almost any other country on the planet.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And to build on that, there's these macroeconomic factors that are really moving us in this imminent direction. But how can we accelerate and enable families with the mindset, the tools to have conversations about what happens next? You can talk to a lot of farmers and you'll find out really quickly that they don't like using software and they're suspicious of AI. I'm generalizing, but broadly speaking, those opinions will come out really quickly in those conversations. What Downland seeks to do is use the process that we've built to enable families, enable our team to have conversations that build that trust, build that compassion. And from that trust, compassion, and understanding of values, help farmers and ranchers understand what their options are for keeping their land in agriculture, protecting it, and doing so in a way that aligns with their values. And so there's certainly some AI there, but it's AI with empathy, AI that enables conversations and builds trust first and not for its own sake.
Right. And that guides towards the solutions that match the goals and desires of the farmers that are looking to extend or be farmers and those that are looking to pass along their legacy, either within or outside of their family. It makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. And coming back to some of those themes of authenticity that I was talking about, there's people who want to sell to a commercial developer for top dollar, and they should have that option. There's people who want to use their land for vacations for their family and maybe have some cows or plant some trees on it. There's folks who want to have their land in agriculture forever. There's folks who want to have it more as a homestead or a hobby farm. Then there's people who want to make farming and ranching their career. And I don't know the answer to that for everybody, but everybody deserves to
So
figure that answer out for themselves.
and you're facilitating that through what you're doing as a business and through the technology that you're leveraging to make those connections. Absolutely love it. Final takeaway for our audience. If there's one thing that you would pass along to them to say, you know what, you really need to consider this for your life and business success, what would that be?
There's probably something right now that you are thinking about trying or doing that you haven't taken the leap to do yet. And I want you to make that thing, that first step, as small as possible. You know, talk about it with one person, meet one person in that industry, put a landing page on the internet and see who gets there, write the blog post and see who subscribes. I would encourage people to take the leap to try the thing and to try it in the smallest bite-sized testable way that they can, to take the swing without taking the risk.
Yeah.
And if that risk pays off, then you can take the next very small step and the next very small step.
That aligns very much with the thought of small incremental improvements every day equals massive change over time. Absolutely love that.
I completely agree, Ed. I'm an athlete as well. My sports of choice are CrossFit and Olympic lifting. And if the weather's nice, I can convince myself to go on some, short sub 5 mile runs here and there. And particularly in the CrossFit space, there's this mindset of 1% better every day. And I think what you said really aligns with that. It's like, how do I take the things I'm focusing on from, this is a huge, hard, difficult thing. But if I only have to take this one step, this 1% change today, I can do that.
Right.
Small changes over time are absolutely the way to sustainable habit change. And as a CrossFit coach and a fitness coach, I see people who take those small incremental steps, stick to their goals, and get results over the long term above and beyond anyone who tries to do everything at once cold turkey.
As we come to the end of this inspiring episode with Jessi Roesch, Jessi, your journey from corporate leadership to pioneering climate smart farming is truly remarkable. Your unique blend of corporate expertise and passion for sustainability is exactly what's needed to revolutionize the agricultural sector. To our listeners, we encourage you to continue this important conversation. How can we all contribute to supporting the next generation of climate smart farmers and ranchers? Share your thoughts on social media using the hashtag Downland Revolution. Remember, every small step towards sustainable farming practices can lead to significant positive changes for our planet. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time as we continue to explore innovative solutions for a greener future. Thank you, and have a wonderful day, everyone.